Hello everyone and welcome to Best Side Cycling. Today we're at the south end of the Cross Kirkland Corridor Trail, and we're going to be riding all the way through Downtown Bellevue to the sort of south end of the Eastrail, the one that just opened up, that connects you from Cold Creek Parkway to Renton. So over there we just passed by, we're here on 120th Street, and you would be able to turn left and head towards Northup Way or the 520 trail, but otherwise we're going to use sort of a route that I'm very familiar with, as a lot of this is actually my day-to-day commute. But riding here, we're going to be using this trail that goes to the Spring District, and then it'll connect us right onto 112th, which will ride south onto 118th, and then that'll lead us right to the new Eastrail trail. And this route that we're taking today passes by a ton of Bellevue's bike infrastructure, so I'll be sure to sort of call a lot of different things out as we come along here. And I'm actually doing this ride right after work right now, so it's just about 4 p.m. and you'll probably see the sun setting as we're doing this ride. So just a heads up that it's also sort of the typical rush hours. And I sort of wanted to showcase that a bit, as there's definitely going to be a part of 118th where I'm going to get the opportunity to pass by a lot of cars. But anyway, this is the Spring District, and on the left here right there is the future light rail station that's going to open up in 2023. So it's going to be pretty amazing when it's just connected all with the Eastrail. But for now, this basically what I'm showing off today is a really big gap in the trail system, as there's no really good way to get by Downtown Bellevue at all as you're doing your usual rides. And that's in general, no matter if you're doing the Lake Washington Loop or anything else, it's sort of hard to get by it. So the thing that I'm showing off today is basically also one of the main corridors to use to get onto through the north-south of Downtown Bellevue. But now we're riding away from the Spring District and we're going towards Northeast 112th. But this area is definitely rapidly developing with a lot of new office buildings and things coming along here. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please roll over the like button and subscribe. Definitely have a ton of biking content to come, and I love sort of doing these rides and showing you all the ins and outs of cycling around here in King County. So this road that we're using right now was Spring District, Northeast Spring District Road. There isn't really any good other opportunities but to just ride on the sidewalk here. And we're connecting onto Northeast 12th Street, which is probably one of the only few decent options to connect across the 405. So basically the 405 is this giant highway that splits the Downtown Bellevue from everywhere else. And biking wise, there's like really no good ways to connect across that doesn't really feel hazardous. 12th Street here is pretty much the only one. As you can tell here from here, it features a large sidewalk that sort of doubles as a bike lane or bike trail, but it's better than nothing. There are a couple other options, but probably not much worth talking about other than this. So I would definitely rely on using this street if you're trying to go east-west across 405. And you can sort of see now all the 405 traffic over here. As it's going to get pretty busy coming up ahead, but I would say the route we're taking is still probably as bike friendly as it can get to connect through Downtown Bellevue at the traffic hour, rush hour times such as this. But it is a really nice day, so I'm really looking forward to doing this ride and showing you all. So up ahead here is 112th Avenue Northeast. Moreover, from being this connection, it also is part of the official Lake Washington Loop. So if you were to make a right here, there's bike lanes that take you all the way to the 520 trail. So if you made it right here. But today, so like that way, but today, and that would be northbound. So you would be heading right towards the Northup Way, and then that'll connect you onto the 520 trail. But today we're actually gonna be, as I said, connecting to the southern Eastrail, which is over southbound that way. So this road is not great from this point forward. There's no actual bike lanes going southbound. So what I'm gonna do here is do a crosswalk left turn again. So what that means is I'm gonna be using the crosswalk lane and then getting from the cars. And here I highly recommend taking your own lane. This is technically I think a 35 miles per hour road, but there's a ton of lights and it's a downhill in this direction. So effectively what that means is cars won't really get the opportunity to pass you because they're basically stopping at every light as well. So the best way to use this part, which is still not great, and you can see that there's sort of bike signs and everything here indicating that this is part of the official Lake Washington Loop. But my best advice here is, yeah, be comfortable taking the lane and just enjoy the downhill, as we basically ride this way all the way to 2nd Street, and that's what connects us onto 118th to keep us on our way. But this is sort of one of the main areas that I think from an average biker point of view is one of the biggest deterrents of riding through a place like Bellevue, is that you have to go through streets like this, and I'm doing this during rush hour to really highlight the fact of how many cars there can be. Usually this road is actually not that busy. Like I would say it's actually pretty empty, as this is sort of more of a side arterial street for people just sort of connecting down. This is definitely not the busy streets of downtown Bellevue. That would be more like what we're seeing here on 8th Street. But yeah, so this is basically all you got for the southbound option. You just basically keep going down here till you're at 2nd Street. If you're coming northbound, it's gonna be hard to show here, but there's actually a trail that comes up just ahead over on the left side. And maybe I'll put a link to it, but you can basically cut parts of the 112th and then use the trail. But anyway, you're still gonna have to connect back onto here, but at least in the northbound direction, there is more consistent bike lanes, but still not great. But this is probably one of the main things that the Eastrail gap will help to accommodate, sort of, or a lot. And that's coming in later on as they work on the Wilburton Trestle and just that whole opportunity to connect north. But the cool thing with this route also is that as we passed by the Spring District Link Station, we're also going to be passing by the Wilburton Link Station, which is basically the downtown one coming up ahead. So I'll definitely point that out. But yeah, as mentioned, there's a lot of waiting for lights around here. I think we've been pretty lucky so far, but we'll see. But this is basically the main part, and you can see other cyclists using this route, as it is sort of really the best way to connect past downtown. I mean, if you're going to the I-90 trail, I'll probably do another video on this, but you can take 108, and that will work more directly. But if you're for sure going through downtown, this is the best way to go. And yeah, I'm just here taking a whole lane, making sure I'm safe and going through. So here on 6th Street, you see that new light rail station now. The wind's pretty strong, but you can see this new station as it's being built. It comes out from the underground and then back overhead again. So it's pretty awesome. So I would say probably the worst part of this route is that I'm gonna have to make a left turn here. Not at this street, but the next one. And you don't really get that much heads up, to be honest. It's just one block where there will be signage saying that 2nd Street is the official entrance to the Lake Washington Loop. So in this next part, you'll watch me hopefully safely make a left turn. But this is probably why, and this is part of the official Lake Washington Loop. So this sort of a heads up too for those of you that want to do this route. It's definitely still like doable and a nice route, but yeah, this is probably the only part that is really, really awkward. But we're here at another light. We're just waiting for a light, and then I'm gonna start signaling to make our left turn onto 2nd Street, which connects us onto 118th. And I have a school bus that's right behind me, but I'm still gonna make this work. So I'm signaling and I'm going left, and then here we go. We're gonna keep going till the light, and then another left here. And you can see that there's a bike sign over there that tells you to make this turn. But yeah, especially during rush hour, you gotta be really safe. And now we gotta make this left turn in this intersection. And this is just a yield left turn. It's not too bad, but yeah. Definitely during normal hours, you're not gonna get nearly as much traffic as this. This is basically as busy as it gets, but it can get a little uncomfortable. But now with all the signage, we're basically officially back on the official Lake Washington Loop route. And this part's nice. It's got some downhills. It's just right next to the 405, and we're well on our way. And as I said, this is part of my main commute every day. So definitely, if you have any other questions about riding around here or in Bellevue, just let me know, and I can definitely try to help to answer. But yeah, this is up ahead. It's gonna be a part where there's probably gonna be a huge backup of cars. But even here, you can see just all the people on the 405 now getting stuck in traffic. So it's definitely sort of pays off to ride your bike sometimes. Even on the east side that doesn't have necessarily a great reputation for bike riding, I still think there's a ton of great, there's still a lot of great routes, and honestly it can save you a lot of time if done right. But anyway, from here, this is really the classic route, and another part that we're going to be passing by is the I-90 trail. So moreover, from the Eastrail and being part of the Lake Washington Loop, this route that I just showed you, that whole 112th to 118th connection that we did, serves as a really crucial piece of connection here currently on the east side. Hopefully things will improve and change with the new Eastrail connection in between, but that's going to solve only, I think, parts of it, because that's east of the 405. We definitely still need some ways to go, at least here closer to downtown. So we're going to be going straight here, and we basically are done in terms of directions. We're going to continue on 118th till we get all the way back to the connect onto the trail. And the part to really look out for next is that we're going to run into basically what will be a huge backlog of cars, and we'll be able to pass them all because we're a bike. And that's sort of the part of this commute that I look forward to each day. Just sort of the feeling that you're really saving time on a bike, because I've definitely done this drive before from the similar area because I work around there, and it takes me going back home honestly the same amount of time as it does to take for me to ride my bike. So yeah. And in terms of hills and stuff, the only hill we're going to encounter is the one that's coming up. This is right next past the Mercer Slough, or Slough. And the other thing to watch out for here definitely is sometimes of these intrusions in the bike lanes. Like this one, for example. I'm making sure to look back and keep going when it's safe. But yeah, this is the Mercer Slough on the right. It's actually a pretty popular destination for just walking around. It's got some nice trails, and there's a nice piece of like wildlife inside the suburban city. So, but yeah, this is the only hill that you'll probably encounter for this portion. It's got a decent gradient, maybe like 4 to 6%, but nothing too bad. Well, so we're now riding up this hill, and we'll be connecting onto the I-90 trail soon. So, but yeah. And definitely with the sun setting so early here now, I felt like 4:20 p.m. is when the sun sets here in Seattle in the winter times. I've definitely adjusted my working and commuting hours, so I seldom currently ride at night, but maybe in the future, we'll see. But yeah. All right, almost done this hill. And I guess as mentioned, yeah, I don't know, but all of the 118th does have bike lanes, so there's that. But in terms of connecting South Bellevue to Downtown Bellevue, this is basically what we got. There's other ways to get to, but not all of them are sort of way worse and way busier. So that's definitely something to consider. But this road is really key if you live around in this area. There are some trails here that connect parallel to it, but they don't really work as a commuting option, as they're sort of broken, and some of them can be super duper hilly, as you see there. It sort of just drops into nothing. But we're gonna be approaching the I-90 soon, along with the I-90 trail, and then also where I think there's gonna be a huge stopping of cars, and we'll get the chance to pass by a lot of them. But yeah, this is the trail that I was talking about that would parallel beside. And all along the way, you do get some decent markers at least, indicating that you're still on the Lake Washington Loop. So, but we're just gonna be trucking along here. And yeah, I definitely wouldn't say that this is somewhere that everyone can ride. I mean, I think for most avid cyclists, this is completely fine with the bike lane, but definitely there needs to be more here to make it really easy for people to bike into downtown. The weather recently here has been really, really awkwardly warm. Because of all the atmospheric rivers, I feel like we've been bumped up of like at least like 5 degrees more than it normally is. So that's the only sort of pro as of late due to the crazy weather. But here it is. This is the I-90, and right here on the right, you can sort of connect through the Mercer Slough using the bike trail. There's going to be an opening coming right up, right here. And then otherwise, there's going to be a crossing on the left that'll take you into the Victoria area, and you can keep going that way as well. So. Traffic actually seems to be a lot better today, I think because it's Wednesday, but usually there'd be cars around this time backed up all the way back here, and we'd just be out here chilling in the bike lane. But that's okay. We're not too far off now from the Eastrail. Yeah, the traffic's only backed up to over that point this time. So I guess it really depends on the time of day, or day of the week, sorry. But this was recently repaved too, so it's really quite nice to ride on. And it's comparatively super duper flat all in this area. So new pavement and flat areas actually is a lot of this area, because even the Eastrail that we're going to be coming on to is basically all flat and all newly paved, as I've shown off. So definitely give this area a go. If you do the Lake Washington Loop, you will pass by this part. But yeah. So finally, here it is. Even though it's a lot less today, some of my favorite parts of doing this commute is knowing that I don't have to sit in traffic. So, woo! We finally, but of course, whenever you are passing by cars like this, watch out for any stray drivers that don't stay in the lanes. Some of them do like keep creeping out to the right, but make sure to stay vigilant and make yourself be known or seen. Sometimes I'll give them a nice wave if they are over here in the bike lane. And like for example, this driver. I just make sure to let them know that there's bikers there. As yeah. But with that, we're basically at the Eastrail. You have to connect onto this sidewalk here in this trail. Oh, and we're there. But anyway, thanks so much for tuning in for this video, and really as part of my commute. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to let me know in the comments, and I'll see you all in the next one.